Give me a minute to get everything rolling here. There we go. Good morning, everyone. Yes, I had cataract surgery in March. I had the first one on, I think it was the 11th, and I had the second one on the 25th. And needless to say, during that time, there was no way I was doing VR. And it took a little bit of time to kind of like get my eyes to like work again. And so I'm still using my original lens inserts from before my surgery. So so there's a little bit of distance correction in there that isn't really needed, but I can still, I mean, even with the lights turned off, I mean, I still can clearly see the you know, the direct to the menu, the PROC, ENT. I mean, I can clearly see. Whoops! I can clearly see that on the G1000. So I'm good. I'm good. I will be getting replacement lens inserts, but I have an appointment on the 1st, this coming Friday, and to get a new prescription for my glasses and for my so I'll use that to get a new set of lens inserts. So but kind of what I wanted to do today was to I'm kind of thinking this might be my last stream before 12.4.3 is kind of out in the public sphere, but I don't know if that's really going to be true. But I wanted to document kind of how VR is currently with 12.4.2 release candidate 2. So that's kind of what the goal is for today. The other thing is I'm running new software from flightsim.com for my force feedback yoke and rudder pedals. They how they were doing it, let me think here a minute. 12.4.1 broke it. so they had to do new software to kind of make that work again. And so because it was I couldn't use it at all. So not only was I excuse me working through having cataract surgery, but as soon as I tried to use the force feedback software, I get a crash to desktop. so and it's like once I started using force feedback, it's like, nah, I just won't fly. So that was all at the same time. So it kind of put me on the sidelines for a little bit. So, but we're back, and so we'll kind of get the plane all started up. To make sure things look about looking about where I want it. So let me go ahead and get the plane started, and we'll kind of go from there. I'll turn on some power. The beacon on. Whoops. Didn't quite mean to do that. A little tough on the starter. Whoops, wrong way. Alrighty, let's oh.
Rudder, 20. Wind 140 at 14 gusting 23.
Ooh.
Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 17, dew point 5. Altimeter 3016. Density altitude 900 feet. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Lima. KERI International Tom Ridgefield, information Lima. 1421 Zulu. Arriving and departing runways 2420. Wind 140 at
140. And they're saying sky clear. I'm a little confused. It sure don't look like sky clear. It says broken stratus at 27,000 feet, so that's pretty high. We'll let me do a refresh. Okay. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, I don't know. They don't look like them clouds are that high up. Maybe they are. We'll find out. We're on runway 24, so we'll kind of go from there. So I'll, like I need to calm my bot down. That wasn't too long a message at all, so not sure. I'll have to take a look at my bot. Alrighty, so what do we got here? So let me get this guy back up here. So should be able to taxi to. So kind of the plan for today is I'm going to fly. Actually, I can put my flight plan in. I'm going to fly to Northeast Regional Airport. It's about 25 nautical miles away. And I'm going to do a touch and go there, and then I'm going to come back here and do some pattern work here. So that's at least the plan. Whoops. That should be Z. There we go. Put 3,000 in. That should be good right now. Okay. KERI ground, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Request taxi to runway 24. Oh boy.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, runway 24 taxi via Foxtrot, Delta, hold short of runway 2, then Alpha.
Taxi to runway 24 via Foxtrot, Delta, hold short of runway 2, then Alpha, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm happy with mine now. I traded my 4090 in for a 5090. about a year ago now. So, hi. So I'm running my big stream beyond at 100%. So 3560 by 3560. So I'm super sampling it by quite a bit. Okay, so he gave me permission, so we can go ahead and taxi down to the runway. See how this all goes. Like there's clouds to the south of me. Ooh, maybe to the west. We'll see. Like I said, I'm not going too far, about 25 nautical miles away, so I'll just do a touch and go there and then come on back. The runway over there is 9 and 27, so west and east. And I'll be doing a touch and go on 27s. Yeah, so coming in the 12.4.3 is so it's
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, cross runway 2.
cross runway 2, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. So so it's being called
runway 2.
Oh, thank you. So it's called the VR version, and so we'll see how this works out. So hello.
Approaching runway 2.
And so the couple of things they are bringing is they're going to have a VRS, so that is variable rate shading. So that's basically for using eye tracking to make where you're looking at a higher res, and on your peripheral of that have it lower res. So basically it'll allow you to run whoa, not sure what's going on here. Is it really that windy? It may be. Wow, I didn't think it'd be that windy. Every once in a while, I've really got to put in a lot of left rudder, right left rudder, to kind of keep this thing going down the taxiway. This should be more entertaining than I had planned on. Oh well. And then the other thing is the thing called gaze. So gaze basically is where your headset is looking at, is pointing. So both of those things are coming in the new version. Wow, this is nuts. This is nuts. I did not think it would be like this. So wow. Oh, this may be terribly entertaining. I want to see what the windsock looks at here.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, contact tower on 118.1.
Starting to get us stopped. Contact tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Wow. Where's the windsock at? The windsock's down here. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. This will be entertaining. So I'm going to stop right here. Put brake on.
Approaching
Taxi
runway
out.
24.
So look at the windsock. Oh boy. Oh boy. This will be entertaining. So before I go any further here, let me catch up. Hi, Iowa Scotsman. The way I found to make things sharper is basically you have to super sample. So you have to run your VR headset at a higher resolution than what native is, and that will sharpen up the display. Problem: you need horsepower to do that. If you're not running, especially an X-Plane, man, if you're not running a 5090, you know, you're running anything in the 30 series, lower 40 series, that'll kill your frames. It's just a fact, but that'll kill your frames. Wow. Yeah, I guess I'm up for a challenge. Let me switch over to tower. I'm gonna scoot up a little bit here. I got my lights right. Wow. This will be entertaining.
Approaching runway 24.
KERI Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready for departure, runway 24.
Cessna 256 Bravo Golf, Erie International, Tom Ridgefield Tower, runway 24, winds 140 at 14, gusting 23, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 24, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Okay. Let's see if I have enough rudder authority to kind of keep this thing going down the center line. I may not have. Alrighty. I'm not too worried once I get off the ground, but getting there maybe not. Okay, whoops. So
On runway 24 remaining. 7,300 feet.
there we go. Not too bad. It was better than I thought. It was harder taxiing than it was flying or going down the runway. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm getting blown way off the runway here. So I'm running an i9 13900K with a 5090, and so I'm running a VR headset. My big screen beyond is its native res is 2560 by 2560. And as I showed at the beginning of the video, of the stream, I'm running it at 3560 by 3560. So an extra 1,000 res per side. And everything in here is sharp. My big screen beyond, this is a big screen beyond 2E. My big screen beyond 1 was the first headset that was sharp enough to allow me to run glass cockpits. So I've been running G1000s ever since. So yeah, that's to kind of super sample like what I'm doing. You need horsepower, and more so in X-Plane than in like Microsoft Flight Simulator. Sure, not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Alrighty, let's kick the old autopilot on. We'll see how well it handles. So autopilot, flight director, nav, flight level change. Should be good. GPS AP, FLC 78. Yeah. We put the nose down just a little bit. We'll climb at 80. Yeah, no, I don't mind at all, like helping people try to attain kind of what I get to see, because I absolutely follow the forums and stuff, and my experience in VR is quite a bit different than what a lot of people says in X-Plane, and not so sure why, but I just know that's true. All right, gotta pull her back to, we're gonna try about 2300 here. So we're 25 nautical miles from Northeast Regional, and so I'm not so sure I'm gonna be doing too much pattern work with the weather the way it is. I think I'm gonna do a touch and go over here and just get it back to the airport. I didn't think the weather was going to be as bad as it was, so. But it'll allow me to kind of chat, and so shimmers. I hear people, you know, wow, X-Plane, my shimmer's crazy, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't see it. It's that simple. When I look out across here, I don't see anything shimmering, nothing. Look down here at these houses and stuff. No shimmer, none. Does not exist. I can clearly see the police car over there. And why is that true?
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, you're leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. So, but I think it is related to how I super sample my headset. I really believe that's true. Is that helps a lot. So this is where I'm at, and I am using different VR settings than default. So that's up. That's kind of in the middle, 0. I can't change that in VR. That's down, that's disabled. Syncs off. Render distance top, middle, max. No shadows. I don't want to waste resources on shadows. I don't care. And max. Back to the plane. So that's kind of where I am, and to get what I see. Where I would see shimmers is like right there. This 4-lane highway there, that's Route 90. And sometimes, not today, sometimes I'll see that shimmer, but not today. Also, what's going on today is there's a bit of an overcast layer here. Not really fog, but a haze, that's the right term. It's a haze. And does that have an influence? Right, you know. But, so, what am I looking at here? So, I don't look at FPS. I just don't. Let me rephrase that. What I look at in FPS is, can I get half of the frame rate my headset is? So my headset's at 75 and I'm getting 38. That's half. What I do look at is the frame times. You doing okay here? Yeah, looks like I am. Okay. Just felt the plane kind of moving around a little bit. But this, I look at frame time. So look at these frame times. I mean, I'm under 10 on both of them. That's pretty nice. That's cool. How is that possible? A 5090 helps a lot, you know. But it isn't like I'm babying the 5090. I'm making it work, and I mean, so. But I just wanted to kind of show that, you know. So other how I fly in DR. I fly in DR very differently than most people do. I have a physical yoke and rudder pedals. For all other interactions, I use these VR controllers. I also can use voice. I sometimes run voice command. Right now I'm not. I'm having a slight problem with it where, how should I put this? It doesn't like to shut down X-Plane cleanly right now. I haven't quite worked through the problem. But generally, I'll just use my VR controller. So if I wanted to change the frequency or on any of that stuff, I just use these. So like same way as my trim wheel. I'll just basically reach down here, feel and see the trim wheel light up, and I'll feel it in my VR controllers, and then I'll adjust the trim wheel. So the same way as all the buttons. Was somebody on the forums that were saying they were having trouble with this being like too sensitive, I guess. But I can easily, without any effort, AP, heading, nav, approach, BS. I can easily, individually, I don't have any problem where it's so hard that go, do I want FD or do I want ALT? I don't have any problem at all doing that. Yeah, like I said, you have a 4090. They're from the 4090 to the 5090, it was dramatic. It was as big a change as from my 3090 to my 4090. That was a big change. So it gives you the headroom to basically get things to look like this. So scenery wise, I'm just running default scenery right now. I'm kind of waiting for SimHaven to come out and for the SimHaven Pro. I'm kind of waiting for that to come out before I do anything really differently with my scenery. The other thing I'm kind of waiting for is next generation scenery. Kind of curious how quickly that's going to come out. That is not my intention. My intention is to show what is possible with my hardware and why mine works the way it does. That's my intention. So that's kind of I just like to show. I hear a lot of down talk about X-Plane and VR and all that stuff. It's possible. Is it possible with lower end hardware? You're going to have to turn down the sliders a lot for it to be possible. So, but what I have noticed is over the run of X-Plane 12, the performance is getting better. So in other words, I don't have to run it as hard as I did with the first couple of versions of X-Plane 12. So I do know that is true. So, alrighty, I'm going to change my heading bug to 27, because that's where I'm going to. That's the airport I'm gonna, the runway I'm gonna land on. And let me see here, inserts. I can't remember right now. So I'm afraid this is gonna be kind of interesting too, so. Yeah, let's see. Is there weather there? Yeah, so this airport is 150, 12 gusting to 20, so it's gusting less, so. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's true. And what I will say for anybody that has VR, when this when 12.4.3 goes public beta, please make a second copy. Make a second copy. Do not update your working copy. Do not do that. Make a second copy. If you need to find room, find room. Don't only install scenery near where your home airport is. Just that scenery. Don't install any more than that. So it takes up very little room. Then you can play. You can play with a version that you don't need to worry about. All of a sudden now it can't fly. So that is very important to do. So, alrighty, I'm 7 miles away. I probably ought to get rid of some elevation. So I'm gonna kick off the autopilot, turn off the flight director, pull back on the power, pull back on the yoke a little bit. Little nose up trim. Try to get rid of some airspeed. Not too much airspeed, but. I should move over to CTAP and all that good stuff, but I'm not going to do that because I want to focus on flying this airplane because this is going to be a bit entertaining, so I'm using SayIntentions for excuse me, for ATC, and so I could dial in the CTAP frequency, make the radio calls, but I'm going to be a bad boy and not do that because I want to really, I'm gonna be hand flying this airplane, and it's going to be kind of interesting to see how this is going to work out. So the winds are 150 at 12 knots, gusting to 20. So, and right now I can't see the airport. It's 5 miles in front of me, but I can't see it. So let's see. I'm a little off course. That's probably why. I think it's right over there. It's where I think it is. Yeah, that looks right. So I'm just kind of slowly, elevation here I think is around 900 feet if I remember correctly. Yeah, so it's 900 feet, so pattern would be 2,000. And just a little bit higher than KERI, so. So when I get a little closer, the runway will be obvious. So. It can't be it right there. Not a heavy helmet here. I'm running a big screen beyond 2E. It weighs, let me think here a minute, without the audio strap, just the headset. It weighs 107 grams. So, not heavy at all. So, well, that was weird. Wow. What is that? That had to be a shadow. Wow, that's weird. That is really weird. Okay. So I can kind of like barely see the runway here. So where are we at? So I'm still too high. That's fine. So that is the runway. Be nice if I get low enough to see a windsock, but my comfort zone, my comfort level right now with the G1000, there is a way where I can see wind, but right now I can't. So let me think a minute. So it says 150. 150. May be landing the wrong way. I actually should be landing here. All right. We'll figure this out. So 150 is here. It's closer to the east. So I'm gonna land here. So I'm going to do my touch and go going that way. Because that better favors the winds. Hopefully this won't be a mistake. So we'll power back. So, one notch of flaps. Kind of get rid of a little bit too much power. We'll figure it out. Alrighty, there's the highway. So I'm gonna only put in 2 notches of flaps. I am too high. There we go, okay. So when I turn this way, I'm pushing against the wind. So the wind's 150, you can see it. So in this direction, I'm into a pretty strong headwind right here. So that's kind of what's going on here. I was trying to figure out why did I slow down so much. So I have to give it a little more power, and try to get it to descend. I'm too high, quite a bit. This will be entertaining. So not too bad. 600, 1600, yeah, not too bad. Over here being about 500 feet, that's okay. Alrighty. 2 notches of flaps in. Gonna have to get rid of some elevation, some altitude there. Happy to say I'm too high. All right. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Because you could feel that crosswind. I do love force feedback. it really challenges. Very good. All right. Alrighty. Doing okay here? Yeah. So let me keep the heading. Flight level change. Nose up. Okay. Alrighty. So we'll dial in Erie. And I wanted to do some pattern work, but I think not. I think that's just a bad idea. There's a couple of things I want to do on the ground, so that'll be fine. Alrighty, so I got Erie dialed in, so I can, I'll change it to nav. So when I was doing the approach, I mean, you could see how far the plane was turned to try to keep it lined up going to the runway, to the runway. Then when you get close, and I didn't want to kill the power until I was sure I had that runway. Then you shove in left rudder, pull the nose back, and so that when you land pointed straight down the runway, not at an angle. So, and whoops, I could hear my engine. I'm like, what are you doing to the engine, Bill? They was just sitting there screaming. I'm like, there we go, that's better. So, and I could feel, you could feel the pressure, you know, that I needed to apply to keep it going right straight down the runway. So, but you only do that when you're pretty close. I mean, you don't want to do it too far away, and so I was way over the numbers before I did that. So, and like did it pretty good. I was had the nose up a little too high. And let it get back down, and so all in all, I was pretty happy with that landing. So okay, so 23 miles away from Erie, and if I can get ATIS from here, probably too far. We'll wait till I get a little closer. We'll see if the runway has changed. So how? inset. Rain, clutter. I'm trying to figure out how. There's a way I can put like the wind down in here, and I just haven't played with the G1000 on that type of stuff. Just not sure. PFB? Wind. All right. Still got the clouds. Every once in a while, don't know if it's in 2D or not. But when you got clouds like along the horizon like that, every once in a while, it's really fast. It's like for a second, all them clouds will kind of turn black for like a second, and then they're gone. It's like it's hard to understand what that is. You can actually see something else right over at about that direction. If I turn my headset, I kind of see a similar thing when I turn my headset. It's almost like that layer there kind of turns into like a black streak. But it's just as soon as I turn my head, and then it goes away. Yeah. Not sure if you guys can see that. So if I turn my head back and forth, it's really weird. Alrighty. So we're 17 miles away. Yeah, it was gonna stream yesterday, but we had weather that was wow, that was big. That was big. I'm sure I got that on video. Clouds were about 500 feet AGL. It was really bad. It was like, no, no, we're not flying. We're not flying. So I decided I'd fly this morning instead, and I was looking at the TAP, and the TAP was looking pretty good. The TAP was saying that until about 12 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock, it was going to just be like 7 knots. It didn't say anything about any gusts, and so when I checked it right before 11, I went, oh, this'll be fun. So, but one thing I've kind of learned is probably the right word. I seriously enjoy the challenge. I enjoy a crosswind landing. I actually do. It's just something that I like to challenge myself. I don't just go, oh, nope, I'm going to change the weather. No, no, no. We'll see. We'll see if I can. Can you actually land? Can you take off? You know, and yeah, I dealt with what I was given over there. Yeah, that was fine. So, alrighty, back to Erie. The weather changed. Doesn't look like it changed. 140 gusting. So 140. 115, 140. There's 6. There's 24. Wow. Man, that is almost like right in the middle. Well, let's see what...
14 gusting 23. Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 17. Dew point 5. Altimeter 3016. Density altitude 900 feet. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Lima. Erie International Tom Ridgefield, information Lima. 1421 Zulu. Arriving and departing runways 2420. Wind 140 at 14 gusting 23. Visibility.
So they're saying it's 24. Okay. It looks like it's like, it could be either one. But 24 will be okay. Erie Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land, runway 24.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, runway 24, not available. Active runways are 6 and 2. Say request.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land, runway 06, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Erie Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request landing, runway 06. Morning, Jeffrey. Erie Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, say again.
Request landing, runway 06, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, runway 24, not available. Active runways are 6 and 2. Say request.
Request runway 6, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, enter left downwind runway 6.
Left downwind, runway 6, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Okay. Gotta get rid of some power, gotta get rid of some speed. Whoops, not that much. So right here would be a straight in approach for runway 6. I gotta go, I'm going to go by the airport and to get on the downwind of runway 6. I looked at the bar there and I went, oh, I forgot to turn the flight director off. With my force feedback yoke, if I don't turn the flight director off, the yoke will tend to fight me a little bit, so. So this is Erie, Pennsylvania, where I spent quite a few hours in a 172 in this area. So 108 hours, something like that, in a 172. So did lots of landings and takeoffs from this airport. So kind of a cool place to learn how to fly. You've got this peninsula here, about 300 acres of a peninsula. And so the views were great. So it's a Class D airport, so it has a tower. So it forced you to have to talk on a radio. So I could have learned at an airport away from here that didn't have a tower, and I'm glad I chose this one to force me to not be afraid to be on the radio. So.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, runway 6, winds 120 at 11, gusting 19er. Cleared to land.
Clear to land, runway 6, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. I want to get out past the airport here a little bit before I come across. So the downwind of runway 6 basically runs right along the shoreline. So it's seeing just a little bit of shimmer on that peninsula, kind of in the middle of it. Not here, not there, right straight out that way. So. Alrighty, I'm gonna pull the power back a little bit here.
Approaching runway 6.
Really? Not that close. Trying to not get too slow. I'm right around 2,000 RPM, so I'm okay. I was up around 102 knots. I was like, ooh, that's a little quick. It slowed down here. Okay.
Approaching runway 2. Caution, caution.
SayIntentions trying to be helpful.
Approaching runway 24. Caution, caution.
Alrighty, not doing too bad. Whoops. So we got a displaced threshold here a little bit. Not my best landing.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, contact ground on 121.9er.
Probably should have let it float a little bit longer, but that's okay.
Approaching runway 6.
Okay. Oh, taxi on land now. Ground, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Request taxi to General Aviation's parking. Park stand 5. Nah, it wasn't too bad.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, taxi to Park Stand 5 via Alpha 3, Alpha Delta, hold short of runway 2, then Foxtrot. Good day.
Taxi to Park Stand 5 via Alpha 3, Alpha Delta, hold short 2, then Foxtrot. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. At Erie, if it was like that's like I had the parking brake on. If I don't specify the park stand using SayIntentions, it wants me to park basically over at that hangar over there. And that's not where I want to park at. The flight school is over here, so. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. You could, I mean, the wind, you could really, really, really feel it. And I basically chopped the power off when I was a little bit higher than I should have, so.
Approaching runway 2. Approaching runway 2.
Clear ground, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, holding short, runway 2.
Approaching runway 2.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, cross runway 2, then continue taxi via Foxtrot.
Cross 2, then Foxtrot, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Approaching runway 2.
No, I'm crossing runway 2. Come on, fuel truck. Yeah, not bad. Okay. So trying to think things I want to go over. probably can do it with a plane off. I'm trying to think. Yeah, so I was, my kind of, part of my goal was to kind of document what the status of VR is with the current version before the next version comes out, more focused on VR. So, and like I said, I fly with my 4-speed back yoke and 4-speed back rudder pedals. That's my only hardware. So all the other interactions, I use my VR controllers and sometimes voice. So and I don't generally use a mouse. I know some people do, and that's one thing I want to kind of go over before I get done with the stream today, to kind of show the status of the mouse, and if there will be any improvements in the next version related to the mouse. So, so I think I'm all good. So I'm gonna shut off the avionics and pull the mixture back. Taking off battery. Alt. That off. Alrighty. So let me go turn on the mouse cursor. So we're gonna go over here. Turn you here. Enable VR mouse cursor. So this is the mouse cursor, and what should I put this? It can be annoying at times. For one, it's way too big. And let's see, does it work here? So in here, if I turn my head, like looking at that plane over there, if I click on the right mouse button, basically the easel will be in front of my face. So if I look over here, so when I'm right click, the easel is in front of my face. So it kind of acts like on the on the VR controllers, same thing kind of happens. If I squeeze, it's the same as show you. So if I come down here, VR menu button. So if I squeeze, see that highlights. So the right mouse button acts the same as the VR menu button, but it doesn't actually show the menu here. So there's cursor. So if I click on done, resume flight. So you can't, there's no quick way I know that how to use the VR mouse cursor to, let me think a minute. No. So in the cockpit, if I click on the right, it brings up the menu. So, but there's no way, like on VR controllers, there's a method where you can center yourself. But I do have on my hat switch on the yoke. If I push the button in the center, it will basically center me. So if I look over here, look straight ahead, it'll do that. So so the VR mouse cursor works, you know, wherever it's at. That's where this menu is going to show up at. So the other thing is that if you're over a switch, if you use the toggle button, the scroll wheel, that'll turn these switches on and off. The same way as if you use the scroll wheel over that switch, over that knob, it'll turn the knob. So the power's off right now, so it's not as obvious, but the scroll wheel will do that. So I assume here. Nope. No, that don't work there. Does work with the trim wheel though. So it's going to be kind of interesting. That's a little more obvious. It's going to be interesting with the next version. How this functionality, especially for the VR mouse cursor, how the functionality may or may not change. And quite frankly, if you're not happy with how something is working in VR, this is probably going to be one of the best opportunities to say, I think this is a bug, and file it. So that I would highly recommend anybody that has a VR headset, please install a second copy so that you don't have the chance of messing up your working install. Just make a second copy. Install a very small pieces of the scenery, so it doesn't take up very much room. So it's just going to be X-plane and one of the pieces of scenery of the world, and so then it doesn't take up much room. But then you can play with it and not worry that, oh no, I broke my install. Well, don't install it that way. Do it. I mean, it's on the installer. It says install second copy. That's what it's for. And the great thing about X-Plane is it lets you do that. You can install as many copies as you want, as long as you got the hard drive space. It can install as many as you want. But I would highly recommend that to anybody that's in VR to kind of help us get this as good as it can be. So I'm kind of looking forward to the fact I have an eye track headset. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm not so sure how much it's going to help me though. Like I said, when I look in the cockpit, it's already pretty sharp. So it's kind of like, I don't know if I need that, I mean, so, but I want to at least try, I mean, so. So that's kind of Bill's thoughts. Really getting some really craziness going on with these clouds. Yeah. I'm not sure. That's the idea. Currently, on my big screen beyond 2E, the eye tracking doesn't, they have like an alignment tool. So basically they have, let's see. Can I show that? I think I can. Give me a second. Alrighty, let's see if I can do this. Yeah. Alrighty. Hopefully. Hopefully you can see what I'm looking at here. I'm not sure if you can or not, but in the lower part of my view, I'll look over here. The lower part of my view, there's this red circle. There's a white cross. I'm supposed to adjust my headset so that that cross is in the red circle. The problem is the cross is jumping all over the place. So there's no way that I can do that. And because at least what it appears like is the get back in there. So what it appears like is that the eye tracking is just so erratic, you know, when it's looking at my eyes, that it can't, it's just not stable. So that's kind of the deal. So I'll do this one more time. Move you out of the way. Yeah. So I'm supposed to look at this red circle and put that cross in there. And the way you have to do it with the big screen beyond is you have to do this in a enrollment thing, and it so you basically move your eyes back and forth and all kinds of stuff to kind of train it. Basically that's what you're doing. You're training an artificial intelligence model, and I just can't get it to work, and so that's kind of a little disappointing. So give me a second. Nah, I didn't get rid of it. Oh, well, that's life. But that's a little annoying. I don't know how to get rid of that. But that's kind of the deal with yeah. There we go. I got rid of it. And so that's kind of, let me see. That's still working now. No? Okay. Alrighty. So that's kind of what I wanted to go over today. And so the two things that as far as eye tracking is that's coming in the next version is one is it's called VRS, so it's variable rate shading. And what that would do is basically where your eyes are looking, that will make the image in that area sharper. Outside of the area, it'll be lower res. So in theory, wherever you look should be sharp, and it should reduce the amount of power, the GPU power, that you need to render X-Plane. That's kind of the thought process and the goal. The other thing that's coming is called gaze. Gaze is different. Gaze is basically where is the headset looking, and so that's kind of what gaze is doing. It's different than eye tracking, and it will be used differently in X-Plane. So that's kind of what's coming, and I just kind of wanted to show, just to show what the kind of what the state of play is for VR currently. And but looking forward to the next version. Hopefully, when it gets a public beta, we can have a larger group of people that are allowed to play with it, and so that's kind of where we're at right now. So what time is it? Oh, all in all, it went pretty good, yeah. And we're back to where I was, so that's cool. And so even with the crazy weather, it still went okay. And but there was no way I was gonna put myself through the doing pattern work with those kind of gusts. That was just I was just not gonna do that. I actually enjoy pattern work, especially in VR, and but yeah, not with that kind of weather. So, okay, anybody else got any questions? Especially VR, but pretty much anything. When am I getting into? I will be getting there Thursday. I'm going to drive. So I'm going to drive, and I'm going to stay in someplace in Indiana, I believe. So that'll be about a 6-hour trip. So I'm going to do a 6-hour trip, stay in Indiana, and then Thursday, another 6-hour trip to get to St. Paul. So that's kind of my goal. I was trying to find a place that would be about the same distance, about halfway, so it's about the same distance when I leave on Monday morning. It'll be about the same distance, and I'll get back home on Tuesday. So that's the goal. That's the goal. Looking forward to it. Sounds good. Sounds good. Looking forward to seeing all you guys. I watched the video about the venue and the people that are the exhibitors that are coming. Man, that place is big. That place is really big. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually looking. I have a new headset pre-ordered. I don't know when it's going to come, but hopefully I'll be able to try out one there. But I got a Pimax Dream Air on pre-order, and I want to look at that, and I also want to have a chat with Fabian from FlightSim.com about his software and just a couple of things related to that. Hardware is rock solid, but I was a little disappointed it took him so long to get a software where it didn't do a crash the desktop with 12.4.1. So. Oh, sounds good, Jeffrey. Sounds good. Sounds good. Kind of wondering how big the X-Plane team's going to be this year. I know a lot of the people not in the States weren't comfortable coming, so I don't know if that's changed or not. But let's have to see, you know. It's like getting more overcast. See, we've got the lights on. Okay, Dougie. I'll wrap it up. Didn't look at the time. Yeah, 136, not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, did about what I wanted to. Yeah, it'd been a little while, partly because of my cataract surgery, and then the other part was when my 4-speed back hardware won't work. I just get a crash the desktop. It kind of sucks a bit of the fun out of this. So, but all good now. So we'll see. All right, guys, have a great day, and thanks so much for all stopping by. You know, Jeffrey and Iowa Scotsman, Captain Bombasso. I think I missed Elisa too. Jelly Willie was here earlier in the morning, earlier in the stream. Sounds good. Sounds good. And Flight Simulator Explain, thank you again for stopping by. So, bye-bye.